While helping Neo Jing tidy up her clothes, Zhao Fanggang accidentally glanced at her sleepwear. A fleeting, unsettling look flashed in his eyes. However, Neo Jing quickly noticed this subtle change and used her gentle, tactful approach to bring Zhao Fanggang back to reality. Zhao Fanggang silently realized that he had developed feelings for Neo Jing that went beyond the ordinary. Meanwhile, Tu Xiaoning was facing a major setback in her career. The project she had painstakingly prepared for had unexpectedly fallen apart. Despite the complicated external factors, Tu Xiaoning still blamed herself, believing that her lack of thorough research in the initial stages contributed to the failure. Ji Yuheng was always there to comfort and encourage her. Tu Xiaoning was grateful to him, but also recognized Tang Wuhu's capabilities. She resolved to adjust her mindset, regain her spirit, and be ready to face new challenges. At the office, Zhao Fanggang mentioned to Neo Jing that he had noticed Tu Xiaoning's recent sadness and heavy heart. At that moment, the manager walked in with good news, announcing that Tang Wuhu had been promoted to manager due to his outstanding performance. Neo Jing astutely sensed Tu Xiaoning's emotional change. To ease the atmosphere, she intentionally introduced Tang Wuhu to a high-end store. As for Ji Yuheng, although his colleagues enthusiastically invited him to celebrate, he still couldn't feel at ease about Tu Xiaoning. He found an excuse to return, just to be by her side. Ji Yuheng gently comforted Tu Xiaoning, telling her that failure was only temporary and encouraging her not to worry too much. Tu Xiaoning was touched by his words and urged him to join the celebration with his colleagues. At the same time, Tu Xiaoning went shopping with Ling Weiyi. Along the way, Qi Yu called to share his good news, informing her that he had received excellent results on his exams. Tu Xiaoning then asked Ling Weiyi to meet Qi Yu while she stayed behind. After their meeting, Qi Yu and Ling Weiyi went to the aquarium to celebrate, leaving behind many happy memories and photos. The next morning, Ling Weiyi woke up to find Qi Yu already up and ready for a run. She playfully said she was hungry, and Qi Yu, lovingly, said he would prepare a delicious breakfast for her. There was warmth and sweetness between them. She gently asked him if she had prepared everything needed for the day, because today was the first time Ji Yuheng was taking her to visit his father's grave. A sense of worry and uneasiness crept into her heart. Although Tu Xiaoning tried to adjust her mood, the news of Tang Wuhu's early promotion to manager weighed heavily on her mind, causing her unprecedented pressure. She snuggled close to Ji Yuheng, softly saying that she needed more time to calm down. Ji Yuheng replied gently, expressing his helplessness and desire to help her, but also understanding the futility of words at this moment. However, fate had other plans. Just as Ji Yuheng was about to visit his mother's grave with his mom, he received the devastating news that she had collapsed at home. The doctor's solemn announcement was like a bolt from the blue. His mother had been diagnosed with a terminal illness. Cancer had metastasized. Her life force was fading. Ji Yuheng was heartbroken, but insisted that the doctor do everything possible to save his mother. Facing an upcoming business trip, Ji Yuheng entrusted the responsibility of caring for his mother to Tu Xiaoning. During this time, he poured all his energy into work, entertaining clients late into the night, even staying up all night, just hoping to ease the family burden. Tu Xiaoning watched with heartache, silently supporting and encouraging him. Every time Ji Yuheng found time to visit his mother, he tried to avoid her gaze. Afraid that his fatigue and worry would affect her mood, Tu Xiaoning knew the exhaustion and pressure Ji Yuheng was under, and she urged him to take care of his health, not to push himself too hard. Faced with Tang Wuhu deliberately approaching Ji Yuheng's mother by giving her gifts and using the opportunity to give Tu Xiaoning orders, she firmly refused, demonstrating her principles and boundaries. Every day after work, Tu Xiaoning went to the hospital to care for Ji Yuheng's mother. She patiently explained Ji Yuheng's busy schedule and unavoidable circumstances to his mother, hoping to soothe her worries. At the same time, Tu Xiaoning also silently supported Ji Yuheng. Because of taking care of his mother, she even gave up the chance to participate in an important project that Zhao Fanggang had introduced. A subtle romance blossomed between Zhao Fanggang and Neo Jing. He often thought of her whenever he had coffee and found excuses to bring her a cup. This thoughtfulness and concern deepened their bond. However, Ji Yuheng's heart was filled with contradictions and turmoil. He couldn't face his sick mother, afraid that his presence would add to her sorrow, so he chose to wait silently below the hospital building. He longed for a complete family, but the harsh reality of his mother's illness made him feel helpless and despairing like never before. Tu Xiaoning waited at home for Ji Yuheng to return. She couldn't understand why he didn't want to see his mother. When they finally sat down to talk, they disagreed. Ji Yuheng believed that making a lot of money would provide his mother with better treatment, while Tu Xiaoning argued that companionship and love were just as important. They both defended their points of view, ultimately leaving the conversation unhappy. But in this argument, they also revealed their deep concern and love for each other. Tu Xiaoning and Ji Yuheng had a fight. Ji Yuheng felt that Tu Xiaoning had changed, but in Tu Xiaoning's eyes, Ji Yuheng was no longer the man he used to be. The next morning was a day off, and Tu Xiaoning went to the hospital to care for her mother-in-law early. She knew that the old woman missed her son, but recently Ji Yuheng had been busy with work and didn't have time to visit. She reminded him that the hospital only allowed visits until 4 p.m. and hoped he could come see his mother before the deadline. At the hospital, Tu Xiaoning learned that the patient in the bed next to her mother-in-law had passed away the night before. Her mother-in-law wasn't doing well emotionally either. She expressed her desire to go back to their old house, wanting to spend her remaining days in her own home. Tu Xiaoning was touched and texted Ji Yuheng, informing him of his mother's wish. This required their discussion. However, Ji Yuheng was busy meeting with a business partner and hadn't had time to respond. At this moment, Tu Xiaoning's coworker came to visit a patient in the ward. She had to lie and say that her own family member was hospitalized, and she happened to know that Ji Yuheng's mother was also hospitalized, so she came to visit. Tang Wuhu sarcastically suggested that Tu Xiaoning was trying to curry favor with the management and was now even trying to win over the family. Ji Yuheng's mother reacted quickly. Hearing Tu Xiaoning address her as aunt, she immediately joined in the act. However, Niu Jing still grasped important information because the patient information board clearly listed Tu Xiaoning as the family member. Niu Jing offered to help, and Tu Xiaoning asked her to fetch a hot water bottle. At the water room, Niu Jing overheard the nurses gossiping about the family of the patient in bed 16, praising the daughter-in-law for her filial piety towards her mother-in-law. She remembered that Ji Yuheng's mother was in bed 16. However, Niu Jing didn't expose them. Upon returning to the ward, she suggested everyone leave, pretending that they were disturbing the aunt's rest. Everyone listened and left one after another. Zhao Fanggang asked Tu Xiaoning if she wanted to leave with them. Niu Jing quickly replied that someone in Tu Xiaoning's family was also hospitalized, so she couldn't leave, then pulled Zhao Fanggang and Tang Wuhu away. Tu Xiaoning didn't expect her mother-in-law to be such a good actress. Ji Yuheng's mother believed that Tu Xiaoning couldn't publicly disclose their relationship, which was a disadvantage to her. Moreover, seeing Tang Wuhu being so flattering, she was sure that she had bullied Tu Xiaoning many times. However, Tu Xiaoning trusted that Ji Yuheng would handle his relationship with Tang Wuhu well, and advised her mother-in-law to relax and not worry too much. Due to traffic congestion, Ji Yuheng was late and couldn't visit his mother before 4 p.m. He arrived at the hospital just as Tu Xiaoning was leaving. As they got into the car, they received a call from Dr. Chu. Drive? Chu told Ji Yuheng that his mother's condition was suitable for a specific treatment, but it would have to be paid for out of pocket, and the cost was quite high. They needed to think carefully. Ji Yuheng looked at Tu Xiaoning. Without hesitation, she said to use the medication. And then Ji Yuheng replied to Dr. Chu. Back at home, Tu Xiaoning helped Ji Yuheng cut his hair. She felt he was extremely tired and stressed lately, and suggested selling their house to alleviate the financial worries of his mother's treatment. Niu Jing noticed that the relationship between Ji Yuheng and Tu Xiaoning was not simple, but she didn't say anything. She just reminded Tu Xiaoning to focus on her own work. Tu Xiaoning shared the good news with Ji Yuheng. His mother was overjoyed and expressed her desire to return to their old house after she recovered. Tu Xiaoning was very caring towards her mother-in-law and promised to go back to the countryside with her. At this moment, Tu Xiaoning's parents came to visit, bringing a nutritious soup. The family atmosphere was warm and harmonious. The love between both families was deep, as close as kin. Ji Yuheng confided in Tu Xiaoning that he admired the harmonious relationship between her parents, but he felt awkward being with his own mother. Tu Xiaoning gently comforted him, promising to be by his side. Although Ji Yuheng had successfully negotiated a contract, everyone suggested a celebration, but he declined the invitation. As for Tang Wuhu, she wanted to use Ji Yuheng's mother's illness as a way to get close to him, but he rejected her outright, asserting that he already had someone in his heart. This scene was accidentally overheard by Tu Xiaoning. She cleverly used work as an excuse to pull Ji Yuheng away, avoiding further embarrassment. Later, Ji Yuheng's mother took him and Tu Xiaoning to visit her husband's grave, formally introducing Tu Xiaoning to her late husband. Tu Xiaoning's gentleness and understanding endeared her to Ji Yuheng's mother. Under Tu Xiaoning's persistence, Ji Yuheng finally stood before his father's grave, bowed deeply, and expressed his longing and promises to his father. Returning to the old house, Tu Xiaoning unexpectedly found a precious family photo in Ji Yuheng's home. The warm family portrait deeply touched her. Ji Yuheng's mother enthusiastically taught her how to wrap sticky rice dumplings, recounting stories of Ji Yuheng's childhood as they worked. The carefree days of his youth seemed to reappear before their eyes. Ji Yuheng stood silently at the doorway, listening to his mother and Tu Xiaoning's cheerful chatter. An indescribable emotion welled up inside him. He had once been an energetic child, but his father's passing was like a wall separating them, silently changing the family atmosphere, causing him and his mother to drift apart. When Ji Yuheng's mother cleaned up her husband's belongings, old memories flooded back. She recalled how Ji Yuheng, as a child, would demand sticky rice dumplings every day, and her heart swelled with emotion. As night fell, Ji Yuheng saw his mother tossing and turning, unable to sleep. He proactively approached her to chat. Mother and son looked through old photo albums together, each picture marking past joys and sorrows. Ji Yuheng's mother summoned her courage and confessed her long-held secret. After her husband passed away, she had been consumed by grief, neglecting Ji Yuheng's emotions, leaving him to bear too much alone. She tearfully apologized to Ji Yuheng, acknowledging that she owed him so much. Hearing his mother's words, Ji Yuheng's eyes reddened. He grasped her hand tightly and said that he had also misunderstood and blamed her. But over time, he gradually understood her heartache. Mother and son finally resolved their inner conflicts, and the gap between them was narrowed. They realized that no matter how rugged the path ahead, as long as their family members stood side by side, understood and were forgiving of each other, nothing was insurmountable. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the gap in the curtains, gently waking Ji Yuheng. At the dining table, his mother had already prepared a hot breakfast. The air was filled with the aroma of home. Ji Yuheng planned to take his mother for a walk, but she wanted to visit the cemetery alone. She hoped he and Tu Xiaoning would stay and explore the old house. During their walk, Ji Yuheng opened up to Tu Xiaoning, recounting the tragedy of his father's suicide due to being entangled in illegal debt. During those days, he and his mother endured immense pressure and misunderstanding. The world seemed to collapse around them. However, Ji Yuheng was grateful that Tu Xiaoning appeared like a beacon of light in the darkness of his heart, helping him find direction. His current goal was to make the banking system more transparent, preventing similar tragedies. Later, they shared an experience making clay sculptures. It was their first time doing crafts together, filled with joy and synergy. On the way back, Ji Yuheng's mother said she wanted to learn to drive, hoping that when Ji Yuheng returned from his business trip, they could all pick her up from the hospital and go home together. This trip back to their hometown not only greatly improved Ji Yuheng's mother's mood, but also strengthened the bond within the entire family. Currently, the entire department was putting all their efforts into expanding their customer base. Neo Jing realized that Tu Xiaoning's way of talking on the phone was very similar to Zhao Fang Gang. At this time, a coworker announced that salaries had been transferred, and Zhao Fang Gang proactively offered to collect Neo Jing's salary. His main purpose was to help her pay off her debt quickly. In another development, Tu Xiaoning excitedly told Ji Yuheng that she had received her salary and then went to retrieve her payslip at his request. Unexpectedly, this scene caught Tang Wuhu's eye, leaving her stunned. However, Tu Xiaoning skillfully changed the topic, diffusing the awkward situation. After work, Zhao Fang Gang offered to drive Neo Jing home again, but she firmly refused. However, Neo Jing didn't expose them. Meanwhile, Tu Xiaoning hurried to the hospital to care for Ji Yuheng's mother. The old woman was very grateful for Tu Xiaoning's companionship and care, although Tu Xiaoning tried to comfort her, saying that Ji Yuheng was now successful. Deep down, Ji Yuheng's mother still longed for her son to return. Each time there was a sound at the door, she was filled with hope. Tu Xiaoning was talking on the phone with Ji Yuheng. He was about to board his flight when the piercing sound of the hospital's emergency alarm rang out. Tu Xiaoning's heart sank, and she quickly ran to the ward. The ward door was surrounded by a crowd. She squeezed her way in, seeing that Ji Yuheng's mother was receiving emergency treatment. But ultimately, she didn't make it. Tu Xiaoning collapsed completely, sitting on the floor and sobbing uncontrollably. She blamed herself for not taking better care of Ji Yuheng's mother and didn't know what to say to Ji Yuheng. On the plane, Ji Yuheng anxiously awaited news from home. Tu Xiaoning's parents also rushed to the hospital. Seeing their daughter so heartbroken, they could only silently comfort her. Tu Xiaoning hugged her mother tightly, tears streaming down her face like a river. She blamed herself for her carelessness. If she hadn't left the ward, she might have been by Ji Yuheng's mother's side until the very end. Ji Yuheng rushed back home. Seeing Tu Xiaoning crying, he tried to suppress his grief and hugged her tightly. Both their hearts were filled with regret and pain. Ji Yuheng ultimately couldn't see his mother one last time, while Tu Xiaoning carried a heavy burden of self-blame and remorse. Finally, Ji Yuheng held a solemn funeral for his mother. Many relatives and friends came to pay their respects. A somber atmosphere prevailed. Tu Xiaoning's parents looked at Ji Yuheng with pity in their eyes, advising him to rest more. Tu Xiaoning stayed by his side, assisting with greeting the visitors. Among the crowd, Tu Xiaoning happened to meet Niu Jing. Although they didn't often interact, Niu Jing understood the deep affection between Tu Xiaoning and Ji Yuheng's mother. She felt even more sorry for Tu Xiaoning's current situation. Seeing Tu Xiaoning unable to hold back her tears, Niu Jing also felt heartache. Outside, Zhao Fenggang was still waiting for Niu Jing. His gaze revealed his concern and worry for her. Seizing this opportunity, he decided to express his feelings. He asked the waiter to bring a carefully wrapped gift. It turned out to be a designer handbag. However, Niu Jing misunderstood it as a casual gift from Zhao Fenggang. Coupled with the complex emotions she felt after witnessing the passing of Ji Yuheng's mother, she was a little agitated. She bluntly refused Zhao Fenggang's kindness and turned to leave. Zhao Fenggang stood there, dumbfounded, filled with disappointment and confusion. He didn't expect his heartfelt gesture to be so misunderstood. The funeral ended, and Ji Yuheng and Tu Xiaoning returned home. Tu Xiaoning gently comforted Ji Yuheng, encouraging him to express his true feelings. Finally, Ji Yuheng let down his guard and said that he was truly exhausted. Tu Xiaoning hugged him tightly, offering him a sturdy shoulder to lean on. To comfort Ji Yuheng, Tu Xiaoning even made the sticky rice dumplings that Ji Yuheng's mother had taught her. Ji Yuheng tasted the familiar flavor, and tears welled up in his eyes. He hugged Tu Xiaoning tightly and choked out, "I thought I would never taste this again." In Tu Xiaoning's arms, Ji Yuheng found peace and comfort. As night fell, Tu Xiaoning handed Ji Yuheng a dusty photo album. The album was filled with memories of his childhood, each photo recording his growth. The last few pages were filled with heartfelt messages from Ji Yuheng's mother, expressing her love and hopes for her son, urging him to let go of his burdens and enjoy his own life. The next morning, Tu Xiaoning woke up to find Ji Yuheng gone. It turned out he had gotten up early to prepare breakfast and had decided to take a day off to adjust his mood. He then went to the outskirts of town alone, using his camera to capture the beauty of nature. He shared these photos with Tu Xiaoning, as if trying to tell her that he was gradually finding peace and rediscovering himself. While cleaning her office, Tu Xiaoning accidentally discovered the ideal doll of Ji Yuheng's heartthrob, prominently displayed. Envy crept into her, and she stealthily tucked the doll away in a drawer. As she pulled out the drawer, a pink hair tie caught her eye, causing a jolt of surprise. Thinking it might have been a gift from the white moonlight, Tu Xiaoning was filled with inexplicable emotions. As night fell, Tu Xiaoning was awakened by Ji Yuheng's faint groans. He complained about a sore arm. Worried for him, Tu Xiaoning gently massaged it, silently praying that Ji Yuheng could face his work with the best state of mind, especially the client meeting the next day. She hoped he would accompany her because she felt incredibly secure with him by her side. Seeing Tu Xiaoning's pouting demeanor, Ji Yuheng felt a warmth in his heart and finally agreed to her request. The next day, they went to the glass factory together. Faced with the chairman's blunt refusal for a loan, Tu Xiaoning remained unfazed. Instead, she showcased her professionalism by offering to clarify any questions about the bank. She also proactively mentioned a financial project she was familiar with, piquing the other party's interest. During their conversation, Tu Xiaoning cleverly proposed a novel partnership, linking the bank card to the factory, providing discounts, and offering a no-term deposit interest rate as an incentive. Her proposal was not only fresh, but also feasible, securing the other party's approval. Ji Yuheng watched silently, filled with joy at Tu Xiaoning's maturity and quick wit. He realized that Tu Xiaoning intentionally involved him because she wanted to help him escape his bad mood and reignite his passion for work. He silently vowed to quickly adjust his state and stand shoulder to shoulder with Tu Xiaoning in their battle. On the way back, Tu Xiaoning fell asleep, exhausted, leaning against her seat. Ji Yuheng quietly stayed by her side, watching over her. Meanwhile, back at the office, Niao Jing sensed Zhao Fanggang's coldness and couldn't help but feel a little down. She asked Tu Xiaoning about her work progress, both out of concern and to gauge her path forward. Tu Xiaoning confidently shared her current situation, even revealing the bet she made with Ji Yuheng. Her fearless attitude and her determination to forge ahead touched Niao Jing deeply. Ji Yuheng actively secured a new employee opportunity for his colleagues in the office, and cleverly assigned the government project to Niao Jing and Zhao Fenggang during a meeting. They worked together seamlessly, showcasing their excellent teamwork. Tu Xiaoning also proactively offered to help Niao Jing organize project documents. The entire expansion department was busy preparing for the upcoming investment results announcement. When Ji Yuheng left the meeting room with an emotionless expression, everyone worried, assuming the project had failed. However, Ji Yuheng surprised everyone by announcing the project's successful negotiation, and Tu Xiaoning received the good news of passing her interview. This was a significant milestone in her career. Tu Xiaoning's impressive performance in the interview was recognized by everyone, with team members offering congratulations. Niao Jing kindly reminded her to share the good news with her family. Meanwhile, Tang Yuhui faced a tempting promotion opportunity to become the finance manager, but she resolutely declined for Ji Yuheng, demonstrating her deep feelings and selfless spirit. The project's success brought promotions and salary increases for the expansion department, solidifying their position as leaders for 2 consecutive quarters. During a group photo, Niao Jing cleverly arranged for Tu Xiaoning to stand next to Ji Yuheng. They exchanged smiles, creating a warm atmosphere. The arrival of the new colleague, Qi Yu, brought fresh energy to the team. Ling Wei gifted him an expensive handmade leather pair of shoes to celebrate his becoming a police officer, showcasing her deep affection. The subtle shift in the dynamic between Zhao Fanggang and Niao Jing brought her joy, but also a tinge of sadness. She instinctively searched for a familiar name in her phone contacts. Tu Xiaoning officially joined the company. Her parents were thrilled, but they did have a minor complaint about her ID photo. Ji Yuheng gently comforted them. After dinner, they strolled home together. Along the way, Tu Xiaoning curiously asked Ji Yuheng about his future plans. She learned he aimed to compete for the position of bank branch manager. Knowing the challenges ahead, Tu Xiaoning offered her full support, with a little selfish motive in her heart. If they weren't in the same department, they could openly date. Meanwhile, Tu Xiaoning meticulously prepared gifts for the press conference, receiving praise from the clients. Ji Yuheng and Zhao Fanggang went to visit Director Ha but didn't find him. However, they stumbled upon his new workplace, secretly pondering the implications. The press conference was a smashing success. A famous influencer MC was totally smitten with the intricate glasswork and wanted to buy a piece as a souvenir. But when she had trouble paying, she panicked. Seeing this, Tu Xiaoning jumped in to help. After checking her card, she explained the issue and generously offered to pay. MC was so grateful. She gave Tu Xiaoning her GuiChat, a social media app, and they became buddies. Meanwhile, Ji Yuheng and Zhao Fanggang were cruising in a car when Zhao Fanggang spotted a pink hair tie on the passenger seat. He started to get suspicious. Someone else must have been in the car with Ji Yuheng. To break the awkwardness, Ji Yuheng subtly brought up the topic of Zhao Fanggang's feelings for Niao Jing, in a playful way, of course. Back at the office, Zhao Fanggang was still obsessed with the hair tie. He even remembered that Tu Xiaoning has a similar one, and couldn't help but jump to conclusions. Sensing his anxieties, Tu Xiaoning quickly explained that it was a really common style of hair tie, and lots of people own them. Not long after, the company group photo was released, and colleagues crowded around to check it out. Some teased Tu Xiaoning and Ji Yuheng for looking like a wedding portrait, making everyone feel awkward. But Tang Yuhui came to the rescue, smoothly deflecting the awkwardness by pointing out that the two photos were completely different. In another scene, Ling Weiyi was bummed because Qi Yu refused her gift. She confided in Tu Xiaoning, explaining that he felt the gifts were too expensive, and he didn't want to rely on her family's financial support. He yearned to build a better future for her with his own 2 hands. Hearing this, Qi Yu was touched. and they quickly made up. Zhao Fanggang was working late one night when he found Niao Jing's forgotten employee ID. Worried, he called her, but she was completely wasted and couldn't even open her door. Zhao Fanggang rushed to her apartment and discovered she'd been robbed. She was scared, but thankfully unhurt. Seeing Niao Jing's anxiety and fear, Zhao Fanggang chose to stay with her, providing comfort and warmth. Under the influence of alcohol, Niao Jing confessed her insecurities about their future. She was scared that once they started down this path, they couldn't go back, and she didn't want to lose their precious friendship. But driven by her feelings, Niao Jing couldn't resist kissing Zhao Fanggang, then promptly fell asleep. Zhao Fanggang stayed by her side, feeling a mix of emotions. Meanwhile, Ji Yuheng was pulling his hair out over the upcoming project with director Ha. A ton of banks were vying for this project, and the competition was fierce. Tu Xiaoning encouraged him to stay calm and confident, assuring him they could find a way to stand out. While waiting at a red light, they spontaneously hugged, and this little moment of tenderness was caught by Tang Yuhui, who happened to be walking by. She was a little shaken. Looking back at Tu Xiaoning and Ji Yuheng's interactions, she started to suspect their feelings were deeper than just friendly. Niao Jing seemed to have forgotten all about the previous night's drama. She was clearly aware of what had happened, but pretended to tease Zhao Fanggang, leaving him both exasperated and amused. At the office, Tang Yuhui suddenly targeted Tu Xiaoning, lashing out with hurtful words. Tu Xiaoning was bewildered, unsure what was going on. Then, Tang Yuhui even threatened to report it to the manager. As fate would have it, Ji Yuheng was in the manager's office at that moment, reporting on the project. Since Tang Yuhui knew Ji Yuheng's plan inside and out, she saw an opportunity. She decided to use her connections to secure more opportunities for Ji Yuheng, while also slyly badmouthing Tu Xiaoning to him. But just then, Niao Jing showed up, bringing Zhao Fanggang along to defend Tu Xiaoning, creating an awkward atmosphere. Ji Yuheng learned he had to travel for work over the weekend and thoughtfully booked a flight for Tu Xiaoning. Later, Ji Yuheng and Tang Yuhui visited Professor Cao, a key figure in the project. Professor Cao expressed deep interest in the project and wanted to act as a financial advisor. However, when the rumor about Ji Yuheng and Tu Xiaoning came up, Professor Cao seemed unhappy. Ji Yuheng tried to explain, but Tang Yuhui cut him off with vague remarks, making the situation even more complicated. Tang Yuhui was hoping to grab lunch with Ji Yuheng, but he made it crystal clear that their relationship was strictly professional. Despite that, she wasn't giving up on him. Later that night, she organized a class reunion, but Ji Yuheng decided to sit this one out because Tu Xiaoning was tagging along. He took Tu Xiaoning on a tour of the campus, showing her all the nooks and crannies, hoping to get a little closer to her. He even took her to the dorms, where he had spent 4 years of his college life. Ji Yuheng shared that he was laser-focused on his studies back then, so he didn't have time for dating, and that Tu Xiaoning was always in his heart. They ran into an old classmate, and Ji Yuheng introduced Tu Xiaoning as his girlfriend. Meanwhile, at the reunion organized by Tang Yuhui, everyone was reminiscing about the time Ji Yuheng saved her. That's how Tang Yuhui fell head over heels for him. Everyone knew about her feelings for him, and she didn't try to hide them. Just then, another classmate chimed in, revealing that Ji Yuheng was with his girlfriend. The room suddenly got awkward. People were skeptical at first, but the classmate insisted and even mentioned that Ji Yuheng and his girlfriend seemed totally smitten with each other. Ji Yuheng took Tu Xiaoning to the library, his favorite place to chill out. The librarian, who knew Ji Yuheng, mentioned that he used to say he had a special someone in his heart back in college. Tu Xiaoning was curious and asked for details. The librarian just smiled and said the girl also had eyes that were as beautiful and curved as Tu Xiaoning's. As for Zhao Fanggang, he fixed Niao Jing's broken clock. The faucet in her kitchen was also giving her trouble, but Niao Jing didn't want to fix it because she hardly ever cooked. However, Zhao Fanggang took the initiative to check it out and fixed it. He even advised her to cut back on fast food because it wasn't good for her health. Niao Jing thought he was a real stand-up guy. She told him about the struggle she faced living alone, even getting robbed. Being single for so long, she had become independent and resilient. She didn't know why she was confiding in him like this. Maybe it was because she felt so vulnerable. They looked at each other, and Niao Jing took the lead, kissing Zhao Fanggang and telling him she wanted to give this relationship a real shot. Just like that, they were officially together. Every night, Ling Weiyi waited for Qiyu to get off work. He would tell her all about the exciting things that happened at work. Ling Weiyi thought he was a real hero. One weekend, she wanted to hang out with him, but Chi Yu insisted on paying for everything because he didn't want to spend his father-in-law's money. Chi Yu wasn't really into that, and it caused a little tension. She ended up going out by herself that weekend. Even though she was out having fun, Ling Weiyi kept checking her phone, waiting for Chi Yu to text her. But no luck. She waited and waited, but nothing. She decided to head over to the police station and find him. He was still busy working and hadn't had a chance to check his phone. When he finally came out, he saw Ling Weiyi waiting by the door, and he finally took a minute to grab a bite. Chi Yu said that serving the public isn't easy, but it's also a way to feel the warmth of humanity. Ling Weiyi apologized, saying she hadn't really been paying attention to his feelings before, but now she understands the importance of his work. She promised that they would talk everything out together from now on. After eating, Chi Yu was back to work in a flash. At work, Ji Yu Heng gave his boss a progress report. They had successfully persuaded the professor to be their mentor, which meant the project had a much higher chance of success. His boss was stoked. Everyone in the business development team was feeling good. But then, the team leader got a call with some juicy internal news. The company director Ji Yu Heng wanted to partner with was about to retire. Ji Yu Heng was bummed when he heard the news. Tang Yuhui saw Tu Xiaoning heading towards Ji Yu Heng and dropped a shady comment about being the only one who could help him now. She suggested helping Ji Yu Heng out, but the only condition was that Tu Xiaoning had to back off. She assured him she could help him get in touch with the company's contact person. It was a critical moment for Ji Yu Heng, and Tu Xiaoning didn't want to jeopardize things for him. Ling Weiyi and Chi Yu went grocery shopping for household supplies. They only bought a few things but still spent over 1,000 yuan, and Chi Yu was feeling a little broke. Tu Xiaoning went to see a talk show host named Zhang Nianyi, someone she had helped out before. Knowing that Zhang Nianyi knew the director, she hoped she could help arrange a meeting between him and Ji Yu Heng. Tu Xiaoning was only trying to help Ji Yu Heng, but Zhang Nianyi wasn't willing to risk her relationship with her business partner. Meanwhile, Ji Yu Heng asked Zhao Fanggang to keep an eye on things for him. He planned to fly to the US to meet with the director that night. He told Tu Xiaoning about his flight, which was leaving that evening. Tu Xiaoning was still waiting outside Zhang Nianyi's house, hoping to see her immediately and get some help. The rain was coming down hard, but Tu Xiaoning didn't care. Zhang Nianyi was finally moved by her determination and pulled over. Finally, Tu Xiaoning was able to schedule a meeting with the director. She went back to the office and shared the good news with Ji Yu Heng. Tang Yuhui didn't believe it, so Tu Xiaoning told her she wouldn't let her use this information to blackmail anyone. That night, Ji Yu Heng made some ginger tea for Tu Xiaoning. He thanked her, saying it was thanks to her that things were working out. He told her not to do anything like that again. Tu Xiaoning wondered if Tang Yuhui would tell anyone what happened. Ji Yu Heng said that if she exposed it to everyone, it wouldn't benefit her at all. Tu Xiaoning couldn't stop thinking about what Tang Yuhui had said. Zhang Nianyi had a date with the director, but she gave the time slot to Ji Yu Heng and Tu Xiaoning. Turns out, the director was already impressed with Ji Yu Heng's plan. Zhang Nianyi took Tu Xiaoning to a temple to pray for good luck. Tu Xiaoning suddenly remembered that Zhang Nianyi was the one who bought the glass piece. Zhang Nianyi explained that she agreed to help because she felt for Tu Xiaoning's situation. Tu Xiaoning was super grateful for her empathy. It was a total surprise when the director immediately agreed to Ji Yu Heng's proposal. Honestly, it was a no-brainer, and he made the decision quickly. Ji Yu Heng and the director were rushing to pick up their wives. Ji Yu Heng rushed back to tell his mentor the good news, and he was ecstatic. The higher-up boss was also thrilled and expressed his approval. Ji Yu Heng also told the boss about Tu Xiaoning's contribution. Meanwhile, Tang Yuhui was discussing the project with her uncle, who hoped she would come work at his company as the finance manager. She said she needed to think about it. Niao Jing and Zhao Fanggang were basically living together now. Zhao Fanggang even put a picture of Niao Jing on his desk. He said that when she officially moved in, he would turn his desk into a vanity. On his way to work, he got teased by his coworkers for almost being late and almost missing overtime pay. He explained that he had a family emergency. The coworkers immediately guessed that he was dating someone. He was a little embarrassed and quickly changed the subject. Ji Yu Heng announced to everyone that the company had officially signed the contract. He gave a special shout-out to Tu Xiaoning for her help. The next week, the director invited everyone to a resort for a team-building trip, basically a vacation. While grabbing some documents, Zhao Fanggang snuck in a breakfast order for Niao Jing. Tu Xiaoning texted Qiyu, asking if she was free to go shopping with her after work. Tu Xiaoning wanted to buy a watch for Jiyu Heng because he had just landed a huge contract. Qiyu was no longer using her dad's money, and her salary wasn't even enough to cover her expenses. Tu Xiaoning saw the manager of the business development team too, and his employee, and realized they were dating. She couldn't believe it. Tu Xiaoning's birthday was coming up, and she snuck a watch she had bought into Jiyu Heng's suitcase while he wasn't looking. In the car, Niao Jing was feeling nauseous. Zhao Fenggang discreetly texted her to see how she was doing, and she was a little embarrassed. Tu Xiaoning asked Niao Jing if she was dating someone, and she admitted it, but wouldn't tell her who it was. Jiyu Heng announced that he was footing the bill for the whole trip. He then assigned rooms to everyone, and while no one was looking, he slipped the keycard to Tu Xiaoning's room to her. Everyone gathered by the pool, taking photos and having afternoon tea. Zhao Fenggang was always subtly looking out for Niao Jing. Niao Jing and Tu Xiaoning were talking about their periods, and Niao Jing suddenly realized she was overdue. She went and bought a pregnancy test and took it. The result was positive. She was pregnant. It was Tu Xiaoning's birthday, and everyone had a surprise birthday party for her. But Niao Jing wasn't in the mood to celebrate because she was pregnant. Tang Yuhui, sitting beside her, was also not exactly beaming. Later, Tang Yuhui used a song to express her feelings for Jiyu Heng. Tu Xiaoning was totally annoyed. Tu Xiaoning couldn't take it anymore. Tang Yuhui was basically throwing herself at Jiyu Heng right in front of her. She was about to speak up when she heard them arguing. Tang Yuhui was playing the "I'm the reason you're successful" card, threatening Jiyu Heng by saying he wouldn't be where he was without her. Jiyu Heng totally shut her down, insisting that he had worked hard to get where he was. He flat out refused to back down, even when she tried to blackmail him by threatening to quit. Tang Yuhui had always thought that Jiyu Heng's eyes held a spark of love when they first met. She was convinced he was her soulmate. But Jiyu Heng laid it out straight, saying he never had feelings for her and telling her to get a grip. She wouldn't let it go and started trash-talking Tu Xiaoning, trying to make Jiyu Heng change his mind. But then Tu Xiaoning stood up for herself, and Jiyu Heng didn't hesitate to grab her hand. Their relationship was out in the open now. He confessed to Tu Xiaoning that he had been head over heels for her since the first time he saw her, and his feelings had never changed. They left together, hand in hand, leaving Tang Yuhui heartbroken. Back in their room, Jiyu Heng threw Tu Xiaoning a second birthday party. The romantic setting was super sweet, and Tu Xiaoning was touched. She was surprised he had fallen for her so hard, and even more grateful that he kept his feelings hidden because he was afraid of rejection. In the flickering candlelight, Tu Xiaoning made a silent wish. Jiyu Heng took advantage of the moment when she closed her eyes and gently kissed her lips. They held each other tight, lost in their love. They felt the sweetness and beauty of their love, and their resolve to face the future together was stronger than ever. Zhao Fenggang was having a blast with his coworkers, singing along to music and enjoying drinks. Niao Jing waited patiently by his side, her eyes filled with a mix of emotions. When Zhao Fenggang apologized, thinking she was upset about the day's events, she just shook her head and told him to go rest. Then, Tang Yuhui's sudden arrival broke the silence. She tried to get Niao Jing to join her for a drink, but she refused. Tang Yuhui started to talk about the first time she met Jiyu Heng, her voice filled with a haunting obsession. But when she realized that Jiyu Heng's heart truly belonged to Tu Xiaoning, it was like someone punched her in the gut. She finally woke up from her dream. Niao Jing looked at her with sympathy, offering words of comfort and assuring her that someone would appreciate her for who she was. Things were heating up between Jiyu Heng and Tu Xiaoning. He gifted her a fancy watch, and she returned the favor with one from the same brand. Their chemistry was off the charts. Jiyu Heng had already crushed his bet, but Tu Xiaoning still had some work to do. He offered to help, but she decided to face the challenge head-on. Every morning, Jiyu Heng drove Tu Xiaoning to work, showing her how much he cared. Meanwhile, Tang Yuhui had a major change of heart and decided to quit. She finally let go of her obsession with Jiyu Heng and found some inner peace. It turns out that all those misunderstandings about Jiyu Heng came from a case of mistaken identity. He had confused her with Tu Xiaoning. Niao Jing got some surprising news at the hospital. She was pregnant. She was thrilled but also nervous. She was worried that if Zhao Fenggang found out, he would keep bugging her. She was even more worried that her decision would mess up their future. Back at the office, rumors were swirling about Jiyu Heng and a mystery woman. Tu Xiaoning tried to stay chill even though it was awkward. She knew she needed to be careful, so she decided to start taking the subway to avoid any unnecessary drama. Ji Yuheng was there to comfort her, telling her not to worry about what other people thought. Zhao Fenggang noticed that Niao Jing was acting weird, and he was suspicious and anxious. Even though she was constantly giving him the cold shoulder, he kept making her meals, hoping to be a good dad. But every time he tried to get close, she got even angrier because of all the rumors about Ji Yuheng's fiancé. Tu Xiaoning witnessed a family drama unfold at the office. The wife of Hin Tong thought Niao Jing was a homewrecker, leading to a huge misunderstanding. Zhao Fenggang stepped in to defend Niao Jing and publicly admitted they were dating. Ji Yuheng found out what happened and had a heart-to-heart with Zhao Fenggang. For Niao Jing's sake, Zhao Fenggang decided to step aside. Before they parted ways, Zhao Fenggang discreetly handed over all his clients to Niao Jing, showing his deep affection and responsibility. And finally, Niao Jing gathered her courage and told Zhao Fenggang about her pregnancy. In that moment, their hearts were connected by love, ready to face any challenge together. Niao Jing tells Zhao Fenggang she's pregnant, and she's a little worried. She makes it clear that she doesn't want to use the baby to tie him down. But she's also reassured by how he's acting today and asks if he wants to take things to the next level. Zhao Fenggang goes all in. He hands her all his credit cards, says she's got access to all his assets, and promises to leave with nothing if he ever does anything wrong to her. Niao Jing is totally touched. He even gets down on one knee and proposes, promising to be the best husband and father he can be. She hugs him and says yes. Her heart is completely won over. Meanwhile, Ji Yuheng sees Tu Xiaoning tossing and turning in bed upstairs. She's worried that Zhao Fenggang and Niao Jing's relationship will get exposed. Ji Yuheng tells her that Zhao Fenggang already quit his job. But Tu Xiaoning is still stressed. She's worried their romance will damage the reputation of Sales Department 1. Ji Yuheng tells her not to worry too much. At least things haven't gotten that bad yet. Tu Xiaoning just hopes they can be happy. Ling Weiyi hears about all this, and she's worried for Tu Xiaoning. Tu Xiaoning admits that even though she and Ji Yuheng might leave someday, they'll miss this place. But she's still nervous. Over lunch with her dad, he's on the phone, and Ling Weiyi hesitates to order food because she doesn't want to keep spending his money. She realizes how hard he's working. She tells him she's been saving some money and wants to use it to treat him to lunch. Her dad asks why she doesn't use her secondary card. She explains that after being with Chi Yu, she realizes how hard it is to make money, and she's started to appreciate it more. Her dad is proud of her. He actually sent her to work so she could learn that lesson. Ling Weiyi's dad calls Chi Yu in for a chat. He says he doesn't have a problem with their relationship, but he wants his daughter to be able to enjoy herself and not be afraid to order whatever she wants when they go out to eat. He doesn't want her to feel like she's got to hold back because of the cost. The deputy manager of Sales Department 2 gets fired, and he's convinced Ji Yuheng is behind it. He vows to get revenge with a special gift for Ji Yuheng. When Tu Xiaoning goes to work, everyone's giving her weird looks. She soon finds out that someone posted a photo of her and Ji Yuheng hugging online. The director calls Ji Yuheng in and gives him a stern talking to, but Ji Yuheng takes full responsibility. Niao Jing pulls Tu Xiaoning aside. At first she wants to quit, but Niao Jing tells her to stand strong and not let anyone bully her. It might be tough, but she encourages her to stay tough and not let it get to her. Married life and shocking news. Zhao Fenggang and Niao Jing proudly display their marriage certificate in a prominent spot in their home. He's surprised to learn that Ji Yuheng and Tu Xiaoning are dating, and he blames Niao Jing for not telling him sooner. Niao Jing says she was worried that if she told him, everyone would know. Ji Yuheng goes home to comfort Tu Xiaoning. She's thinking about leaving the company because she hasn't finished her non-compete agreement. Ji Yuheng tells her that it's not over yet, and he'll take care of everything. He decides to go to work like normal, now that the secret's out. When Tu Xiaoning goes to the supermarket, she overhears coworkers talking. They mention that Ji Yuheng sent out a notice claiming he and Tu Xiaoning got married before he started working in Sales Department 1. He then tells everyone the director approved his transfer request and that it's his last day in the department. Tu Xiaoning is surprised because they discussed it, but he just went ahead and made the decision. Ji Yuheng packs up his belongings, feeling a little sad to leave the place he called home for over half a year. Zhao Fenggang is also packing up to leave. Both of them have a deep connection to Sales Department 1. When Ji Yuheng gets home, Tu Xiaoning helps him pack. His new assignment is far away. He tells her that things are unpredictable, and he doesn't know when he'll be back. He tells her not to worry about the rumors. His new role is dealing with bad debt, but he promises once that's done, they'll go on a trip together. Niao Jing takes over Ji Yuheng's old spot in the development department, and they get 2 new employees. Meanwhile, Ji Yuheng's starting his new job in Nan'an County. He's constantly on the go, chasing down bad debts to boost the branch's performance. Zhao Fenggang also finds a new job and doesn't forget to remind his wife to eat on time. Back home, Ji Yuheng and Tu Xiaoning chat about their day. Tu Xiaoning tells him the manager at Shendong Company praised her. Apparently, he's one of their 4 handsome guys. But Tu Xiaoning still thinks Ji Yuheng is a little better looking. Ji Yuheng admits he misses Tu Xiaoning all day and promises to make a good record so he can transfer back to be with her soon. The next day, Ji Yuheng goes to the bank to take care of some paperwork and runs into Qiaomu. He purposely shows off his wedding ring and matching watch with Tu Xiaoning. She asks why he's suddenly so into wearing a ring, and he says people who are married should be conscious of their status. He brags that he used his bonus to buy a car for her to drive to work. Tu Xiaoning wonders if he's trying to propose, but it turns out he's just worried she won't be able to get home when it rains. Tu Xiaoning thinks to herself, Ji Yuheng's reputation for spoiling his wife is going to be legendary. To boost the Nan'an branch's performance, Ji Yuheng is working hard to get those bad debts back. Since he has to wait for a customer and it's about to rain, he calls Tu Xiaoning and tells her he might not be home tonight, so she should go stay at her parents' place so he can relax. He opens the bag of stuff Tu Xiaoning packed for him and finds a framed photo of the 2 of them. Instead of sleeping beside each other, Ji Yuheng calls Tu Xiaoning on video chat while he works overtime. He watches her sleep soundly and wishes her good night. Just then, he gets a call from the wedding planner. He glances at the numbers, and the Nan'an branch's bad debts have gone down significantly. The headquarters calls Ji Yuheng to commend him. They say not everyone can overcome adversity and succeed. Even though he got sent to Nan'an, instead of complaining, he worked hard and managed to get rid of all the bad debts, which no one else could do. When Tu Xiaoning gets off work, she's surprised to see Ji Yuheng. He's there to pick her up and tell her the good news. He's been promoted to manager of the new branch in Ta'an. Tu Xiaoning congratulates him, happy that all his hard work paid off. On the drive home, Ji Yuheng suggests taking a vacation for a few days. Tu Xiaoning declines, saying Niao Jing is about to go on maternity leave and there will be a lot of work. Ji Yuheng asks her to let him know when she's free. Zhao Fenggang immediately joins forces with Ji Yuheng at the Ta'an branch. He promises to stand by his side and help him keep his seat as manager. Ji Yuheng knows that Ta'an is a new branch and will have to compete with lots of other banks. They'll only survive if they get some big clients. Zhao Fenggang tells him that Company A is looking for a loan. Ji Yuheng thinks this project is a hot commodity that every bank in the city is eyeing. He figures it's all about information, so he has to keep it under wraps. But guess what? Tu Xiaoning and Niao Jing also have their sights set on Company A. They both decide to keep their husbands in the dark. Back at home, they both subtly try to get information out of each other, but neither one spills the beans. While they're both working, Tu Xiaoning notices that Ji Yuheng has put a privacy screen on his computer monitor. She pretends to spill water so she can sneak a peek at his project. When he calls her out, she says she couldn't see anything because he was blocking it so well. Ji Yuheng scoops her up and takes her to their bedroom to show her what he was hiding. It turns out that Company A's deputy manager narrowed down the options to 2 proposals, both from the Dai Tui Bank. When Tu Xiaoning arrives at Company A, she runs into Ji Yuheng. She figures he got invited by the deputy manager too. She doesn't want him to get ahead of her, so she pretends to have a fender bender and calls Ji Yuheng to come help. While he's outside, she dashes inside. Ji Yuheng takes a look at her car and sees no damage, realizing that he's been tricked. While talking to the deputy manager, Tu Xiaoning casually helps him set up his printer. Her gesture of brushing a strand of hair out of her face catches his eye. A competition of hearts and minds. When Tu Xiaoning leaves, she finds Ji Yuheng waiting. He confronts her, saying she's not supposed to be having an accident. She tells him, even if she's hurt, work comes first. He reminds her that she called him out for unethical behavior, and now she's doing the same thing. She apologizes, saying she just got there first. She thinks the people who come later won't have a chance even if they talk for hours. Ji Yuheng warns her not to get too excited because there's no decision yet. The next day, the deputy manager personally visits the bank to see Tu Xiaoning. He asks her to explain a few terms. He catches her eye, and she feels uncomfortable. Before leaving, he gives her a gift. She calls him to return it. He suggests they meet at a restaurant nearby. Knowing he's got his sights set on Tu Xiaoning, Niao Jing follows along, with her baby bump in tow. Ji Yuheng shows up unexpectedly and suggests they all eat together. During the meal, while handing Tu Xiaoning a napkin, Ji Yuheng shows off his wedding ring and watch. He even discreetly changes her dipping sauce. Getting to the point, Ji Yuheng argues that Dai Thuai Bank has the highest interest rates in the city, and the Ta and branch offers the best terms within Dai Thuai. The deputy manager admits that Ta An's terms are good, but he believes relationships and personal connection are also important in business. Ji Yuheng says, no matter what you do in business, you need to prioritize profit. You have to give and take to have a long-term partnership. Back home, Tu Xiaoning accuses Ji Yuheng of stealing the client from right under her nose. He says if he hadn't shown up, the deputy manager would have been hitting on her the whole time. After dinner, Tu Xiaoning tells him not to use jealousy as an excuse, saying she wouldn't let her guard down with him. He tells her not to be on guard with him, but to be careful with others. The next day, the deputy manager invites Tu Xiaoning to his company. Instead of signing the contract, he offers her a job as the head of his finance department. Tu Xiaoning declines, saying banking is her passion. The deputy manager lays it all out, saying he thinks Tu Xiaoning knows what he meant by giving her the gift and calling her in just to fix a few words in the contract. He claims he can give her everything Ji Yuheng can, plus more. Tu Xiaoning says she believes in respecting her clients. If he's not happy with the plan, she can change it until he's satisfied, but he can't disrespect her fiancé. She leaves, but he stops her. He tries to make a move, but Ji Yuheng tackles him to the ground. Fearing Ji Yuheng's anger, Tu Xiaoning tries to explain, but he says it doesn't matter. He only cares about her. Ji Yuheng takes Tu Xiaoning up to the rooftop, the place where their love story started. He confesses that he's been secretly in love with her since 2013. She's his. White moonlight, a term used to describe someone unattainable. The first time he saw her smile on campus, he realized what it meant to be smitten. Then his dad got sick, and he fell into a dark place. She was the ray of sunshine that pulled him back. He read her posts in their class group every day. He was about to tell her how he felt, but he missed his chance. He went to study abroad but continued to follow her news. When he learned she was no longer with Si Jing, he decided to come back home. He spent time putting himself back together. After she said she wanted a stable relationship, he knew he couldn't wait any longer. He didn't randomly choose to go on a blind date with her. He planned it. And before proposing, he secretly met with her parents so they could be assured about him. Tu Xiaoning is a little upset that he didn't tell her sooner, making her think someone else was his. White moonlight, and causing her to be jealous of herself. She thanks him for always coming back to her. He tells her that the time he spent secretly loving her was long, but worth it. But he can't wait any longer. Will you marry me? Finally, Ji Yuheng puts the ring on Tu Xiaoning's finger. Tu Xiaoning tells him, "Thank you for letting me know that there has always been a guy who was willing to wait and love me." The next day, Ji Yuheng and Tu Xiaoning get their marriage license. They are officially husband and wife. Ji Yuheng gets her a bouquet of roses, and they take some wedding photos. They go to visit her parents, and she admits that she got married to Ji Yuheng today. Her mom is a little sad that her daughter didn't tell her. To make her happy, Ji Yuheng asks her to plan the wedding. Back at home, they post their wedding photos online. On the Mid-Autumn Festival, Ji Yuheng takes Tu Xiaoning to walk around the city. He acts like a paparazzi for her. They eat ice cream and take pictures together. Tu Xiaoning is looking at the photos when she turns around and can't find Ji Yuheng. A girl gives her a stuffed cat and tells her to follow her. Their story started with that cat on the rooftop all those years ago. In their youth, Ji Yuheng met Tu Xiaoning, had feelings for her, and missed his chance. When fate gave him a second chance, he grabbed it and walked toward her. Now every corner of his once lonely house is filled with the atmosphere of Tu Xiaoning. She gave him a complete and warm family. Finally, Tu Xiaoning feels the depth of Ji Yuheng's love and decides to give him her heart. She's ready to entrust her whole life to him. He promises to make her happy forever. She thanks him for never giving up on her and for being there for her, allowing her to experience the joy of this moment. Hand in hand, they walk towards the altar, happy to be together, watching the dazzling fireworks. They take some wedding photos to prepare for the ceremony. Seeing Tu Xiaoning tired, Ji Yuheng decides to put the photos on hold, wanting to cherish this moment with her. They happily express their love for each other. Meanwhile, Zhao Fenggang takes his wife to the beach. His parents' care fills the void of not having her own family. She feels lucky to have Zhao Fenggang in his family. A year later, Ji Yuheng and Zhao Fenggang have successfully established the Ta and branch. Tu Xiaoning continues her beloved job in the development department. After work, Ji Yuheng and Tu Xiaoning make time for each other. Finally, Ji Yuheng's silent love story has a happy ending. It's a testament to sincerity, patience, and sacrifice. That's a wrap for this story. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to see what other amazing dramas we have coming up. Love you all.